Hi everyone, I'm Brittnee. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you the absolute easiest way to temper chocolate. It's the fastest, plus you don't need a thermometer, a double boiler, or a marble slab. All you need is a microwave, a plastic bowl, and some couverture chocolate. If you're not sure what couverture chocolate is, it's just a high quality chocolate with no stabilizers and a higher percentage of cocoa butter. If you simply just melt it and try to use it, it will not set up hard. You have to temper it. Before we get into it, I wanted to quickly explain to you how tempering works for those of you that are interested in the science behind it. So like I mentioned before, the fat in the chocolate is called cocoa butter, and it can develop 5 different types of crystals that have different characteristics and different melting points. The beta crystals are the kind that have the characteristics that we want, so we need to encourage the chocolate to develop those types of crystals as it sets up. If we develop enough beta crystals as it's setting up, there won't be as much room for other unstable crystals to develop. If the chocolate is not tempered correctly and unstable crystals do form, you'll know by a couple different ways. It might taste grainy when you eat it. It might have white spots or streaks, which is called blooming. It'll take a really long time to set up, and it'll also melt really easily when you touch it. All right, let's get tempering. And just so you know, this technique works with dark, white, and milk chocolate. Today I'm going to be using dark chocolate, Calibut bittersweet chocolate Calais. Is that how you say that word? Calais? Calette? I'm not French, is it French? I'm looking it up.
Calette, Scottish.
Scottish? Calette.
Calette, Scottish.
What if it's not Scottish? I'm gonna omit that word. Calibut bittersweet chocolate couverture. And I'm just going to pour my chocolate into a plastic bowl. Now you don't want to use glass because glass retains heat and can burn your chocolate and make it go out of temper. So basically the method to do this in the microwave is to melt the chocolate for 30 seconds at a time until it's half liquid. Then we're going to stir it vigorously until it's smooth. So 30 seconds in the microwave at a time. So here's the chocolate after the first 30 seconds. Not much of a change. 30 more. Here's after 60 seconds. They're starting to look less dry, but they're not quite melted yet. And it's important to stir in between so that the chocolate's melting more evenly and not getting too hot in the center. So 30 more seconds. So this is after 1 minute and 30 seconds. And you can see it's starting to melt, but it's sticking together. So that is not half melted yet. So 30 more seconds. Okay, so I was actually getting a little bit nervous and I stopped it at 20 seconds because I didn't want to overdo it. And it looks about half melted now. So I'm just going to stir it vigorously until all the little pellets are melted. My arm's getting tired. Now, once the chocolate is all smooth, it's time to test it to make sure it was tempered correctly. So you're just going to dip something like a plastic bowl scraper into the chocolate, and it should set up in about 5 minutes. If it doesn't, it might be out of temper. And I'm also going to show you what it looks like spread out on a piece of acetate. Because when it sets up on the acetate, it will be nice and shiny. And then we can test the snap as well. All right, so I set my timer and it's only been about 4 minutes, and look, you can already tell it's set up. You can tell because it looks dull, and when I touch it, it's firm, like there's nothing on my fingers. So it's not melty anymore. So it's perfectly tempered and ready to use. Now for the acetate test, I'm just going to pop it in the fridge for a couple minutes so that the chocolate seizes and pulls away from the acetate, and I'll show you what it looks like. Now I've only left it in the fridge just long enough so that it peels really easily off the acetate, as you can see. And the acetate makes it nice and shiny like this. And when you break it, you'll hear a snap. It was really thin, like it's really, really thin. If I would have done it thicker, the snap would be louder, but basically that's the test, and it looks really good. And it's not even melting in my hand, even though it's super thin, so good sign of tempered chocolate. Now, once you've properly tempered your chocolate, you can use it for just about anything: garnishes, decorations, or molded chocolates. Once you're finished with it, just spread it out on parchment until it's set up. Then you can break it up and reuse it again. If you found this video helpful, please let me know by giving a like down below. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, today's the day. If you'd like to see something else that's sweet, check out some of my other videos by clicking on one of these thumbnails. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.